$84.
Mm-hmm. What's up, everybody?
Good morning. Good morning, pre-gamers. Here we go. Come join us over here, too. Facebook, YouTube. Facebook, YouTube.
Every little thing you do. Nora Green.
What? Good morning, Nora.
What is going on, beautiful?
What up, Ryan 840? Good morning.
Nora, what are you doing away from work?
Wow.
She's usually busy.
She's a grown-ass woman. She can wear.
No, I'm not.
She can be
I'm
wherever
just saying.
she wants.
Would you relax?
Morning, Greg.
Happy Big Ten Media Days.
It's blah. For some reason. I don't know. It's like blah.
It's at the point where it's like you have to do it.
Yeah.
You
We'll
know?
talk to Rob and watch. He's heading up there.
He is?
Yep. He's going to do the show this morning, though.
Oh,
and then he
okay.
leaves at like 11. Nora says she's multitasking.
I'm impressed.
Multitasking.
I saw her last night for the first time in like 5 days.
What
Yeah.
is happening?
Well, we've been busy.
I was just asking. I wasn't like...
No, we've just been busy.
Okay.
Had darts?
She came down to darts.
No, she didn't. I went and saw her after. They don't stick.
They're stupid. This is the dumbest.
We got these chicken things. These chicken.
Thanks, Tim Bob. See him?
And you slingshot them, and they're supposed to stick, but they don't stick.
I don't do anything stupid. TV. Gone.
No.
Dumb. It's as dumb as not getting $7 a month to stream on X.
I know. They don't understand that we're
and
losing.
not getting an answer.
We're losing 80% of our viewers.
Yo, Ernesto. Happy Tuesday. Shane?
What up, Shane?
Yeah. I don't know what I don't even know.
Ernesto.
GoFundMe for $7 a month.
I think we would definitely get that.
For only $1 a month. You can
For $1 a month, you could support the Morning Hookup.
Morning Hookup. Sign up today.
Ernesto would pay it all. He loves us.
To help the pandas.
We love him too. Yeah, to help the pandas.
You ever seen those commercials?
In the arms of an angel. And it shows our faces.
Yes.
This is the Morning Hookup on KFOR.
Good morning, Lincoln, Nebraska. Happy Tuesday. Welcome in the Morning Hookup. Bill Hooks, Will Wilson. What's up?
What's up, Hooksy?
Happy Big Ten Media Days.
Oh, thank you.
If you didn't know.
Thank you very much. What an exciting day.
So exciting.
What an exciting day.
I'm trying to be excited about it.
We've been waiting all year for this.
Yeah. I think some people does symbolize like the start. Like, all right, we've turned the page. Because now you're what? 8 days roughly away from the start of fall camp? Is it the 31st?
Yeah, I thought
30th, 31st, whatever, start of fall camp.
I thought it was this week.
You know? Which would be this week, by the way.
What do you mean?
That's gross, right? I don't know what the days are.
Today's the 23rd. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it is this week. I don't know. 28th, I don't know. Maybe this is start. But a lot of people get pretty jacked up.
Mm-hmm. No, it's a big deal.
They get jacked up also to hear all the media report, all the good stuff that Coach Rule's going to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't get there as much. I'm not ready.
I don't know. I said it yesterday. It's just a lot of the stuff isn't going to be worth talking about. A lot of it's not important.
Well, I think Nebraska can, for the first time in a long time, can take the backstage a lot.
What do you mean?
Because you think over time, right? And I want to ask Robin about this when we get him here shortly. We have Robin Wash at Brian Munson. there's always some big story about Nebraska. Like last year, Coach Rule, Frost, this and that. There's always something. But now you got the 4 newcomers and Ohio State.
Mm-hmm. Did you see what Oregon did?
What did they do?
There's a river that goes through Indy.
They go spit in it?
Just the what?
They go spit in it?
No,
something?
They inflated this huge duck.
Oh.
This like ginormous duck, and it's just sitting in the river next to
whatever.
Lucas Oil.
Whatever. Let them be the center of attention this time.
No, they're good at that.
You wonder Coach Rule's going to go up there on the podium tomorrow, I think 11:30, and still the show.
He always does.
Yeah.
He'll
be fine. The 3 players will answer some questions. You wonder if there'd be questions about Evan Cooper, obviously, with that departure when it happened. They have to answer that. How many questions will be about his quarterback?
A lot.
How
many? Well, and there should be a lot about the defense because I've been seeing some rankings. It's like the best defenses in college football. Some people have been putting Nebraska in the top 10.
It's kind of a darling right now, How many questions will be about getting Nebraska out of, I believe, breaking the streak of their 7th straight losing season? Something like that. Is that right?
Yeah, maybe more.
It's one of the top so many in the country, by the way.
Is it 7?
I want to say, I think we're like number 2 or 3. So I think it's 7 straight losing, something like that. We'll have to look at it, but I think it's 7.
Yeah, I think you're right. Because Frost was here for 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
Riley had 1. Rule had 1, so that's 7.
I think something like that. I feel like it's 7.
Yeah, that's tough to hear. Thanks
6,
for that.
7.
Thank you.
It's like, when does that end? The bowl streak end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
don't know.
They picked us 8th in the...
8th in the... Yeah, you're in the upper half, right?
Yeah.
You're in the top side of that, which means your record should be good enough to make a bowl. If you're in the top 8.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I
don't know if you're happy with that or if you're a Husker fan, you're like, all right, we're somewhere to start. We're in the upper half, but you're closer to 10 than you are 5.
Mm-hmm. Big 10 media days. Schmitty's up there right now.
Yeah, he's going to be on there. Like they're going to be on throughout the day, right, or something. Or,
yeah.
You'll
recording stuff.
Check those guys out.
Mm-hmm. They always got good stuff, but it sounds like it was a mess
getting in credentials and all that stuff.
Yeah,
but I heard he's in now. He's good.
He's in the building.
Good. Hopefully he got another cup of coffee and got calmed down.
Yeah. Why aren't you and I up there?
Yeah, boy, we can't even. I don't get me started. It's hard enough to get $7. I mean, Sorry, I'm done. How was darts last night? You threw them last night.
Yeah, darts. So I had 2 games. I had a makeup game at 5, which we played a pretty good team. We lost 1-4, and then we had a game at 7 against 2. You could call them amateurs.
Oh, it's amateur hour at the tavern.
Well, if I could be nice and not
so it'd be like me walking in. Get it?
Yeah.
I'm just there. I'm just signing up for the league, man. I just want to have some fun.
Yeah.
Gives me a reason to get out. It gives me a reason to go out at night on Monday night. Hang out.
And I guess I probably shouldn't call them amateurs because we did lose 1 game to them. So we won.
Amateurs get lucky.
We won that one 4-1.
Good. So amateurs get lucky.
Yeah.
So
it was good.
Good, man. Good. And you got to see Nora for
I got to see Nora for a little bit, which was good.
You guys are busy individuals right now.
Yes, we are. Well, she's clearly not busy enough. No. She's here watching the show.
Clearly, if you maybe had to put some stuff on a calendar to make things work.
Will you bring back the calendar thing?
I don't know. Maybe you need to plan a little bit better. So you don't not see her for 5 days.
Well, we were both busy.
Okay, I'm just throwing it out there.
We don't need a calendar for that. Anyways, let's get Robin on the phone.
Robin Washington coming up. He leaves for Indy in about 55 minutes. He's gracious enough to do our show this morning. We'll have a lot of stories that will come up after these 2 guys. We'll interview them, and then we'll talk to a bunch of stories that we wrote down. A lot of fun ones out there today. Efforting Robin Washington. He told me he was good. He did say he was good. That he did tell me. Oh, Robin. I want to ask him about his adventures because he's been up there quite a few times. A couple years ago, they had the adventure of all adventures.
Hi.
Yeah. Robin Washington.
He'll call us back.
He will. He will. He's good about that.
What were you talking about? His adventure?
Yeah. 2 years ago, I talked to him yesterday and made sure he was good to come on the show, because I knew he was going to be heading up there. But a couple years ago, they had the planes, trains, and automobiles adventure.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, getting to and from.
Yeah.
They're a little nervous this year because of all the flight stuff. There's still shout out. I mean, God bless all the people that are still stranded in airports right now.
It's insane.
Thinking about them trying to get them back home and where they got to be.
Yeah.
You see reports of families and whatever else spending days inside airports.
Yeah, they don't have rental cars.
Nothing.
It's a mess.
Nothing. So everything's really backed up out there right now based on the fact that they're trying to catch up.
Yeah.
It's a mess.
That sounds awful.
It's a complete mess.
So they had to take a bus, a train, a
Yep.
plane. Were they singing Flintstones on the bus on the way up?
Wheels go round. I want to ask you about, as we're waiting on Robin to call, baseball last night, man. Royals, something magical was bound to happen. It was getting close. Bobby Witt Jr., man, he fell one single short of the cycle last night.
Yes.
You upset about this?
I am very upset about this. By the way, Bobby Witt Jr. is the hottest batter in the planet right now.
Yeah.
Since the All-Star game, he is, I think, batting 800.
3 days ago. How many games they played since then?
4.
Oh, have they played 4 games since the All-Star break?
Uh-huh.
Jeez.
Well, in his last 15 games, he's 31 for 60. That's for a 517 average.
Wow.
And he hit his 10th triple yesterday, tied for the MLB lead. So he went triple, double, home run.
Yep.
So and then his hooks. His 4th at bat was in the 5th inning.
Well, that's some offense right there.
So he needed the single.
Yeah.
He comes up to the plate, and what happens? He gets plunked.
The ball got away from him.
Oh, shut up.
That's what I heard.
You think it did?
I watched the video. It didn't look like it. I don't think any pitcher goes up to go, well, guy's going to get a cycle. Let's hit him.
Yeah, no, but that's like the worst situation ever to hit somebody.
Yeah, I know.
Whether it was on purpose or not.
Salvi, a bunch of guys were upset. Because
The
in the next inning, they came back and hit a guy.
That's right.
Protect their guy.
The Royals ended up hitting
the unwritten rule, protect your guy.
And then that turned into the Diamondbacks manager getting ejected.
Yeah, then it was madness at that point.
It's, whether it was selfish or whether it was on purpose or not, it was just very frustrating considering the scenario, and that happened. He was probably going to get the single too.
You think Witt is continue with this tear, he could play his way into the MVP race? Because right now, let's just throw it out there. He's hitting 341, by the way. He's number 2 in the league.
Wow.
Right now. He's 2 points behind Stephen Kwan at this point right now. Okay. He's got 137 hits. That's 11 more hits than anybody in the entire league.
Bobby Baseball.
He has slugging percentage 592. That's 5th in the league of all qualified hitters.
Well,
I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. It's triples. Like you say, he's tied in triples at 10.
What usually sells the MVP?
Home runs.
And he's got 20? Just over 20.
Still, man.
I think we got Robin.
I mean, there could be a stat line for that. I don't know.
Hello, Rob. Is this Robin Washington? Who is this?
Hey there. First time, long time. Love the show, guys.
Hey, thanks, Robin. Thank you for the compliment.
I figured you were home just making sure you had enough clothes for the weekend.
Yeah, I usually wait until the absolute latest possible moment to start packing. So I inevitably forgot something, but at least I have something suitable to wear tomorrow for Big Ten Media Days. Everything else is just secondary.
Yeah, we mentioned that you're heading up there, and I'm hoping, you and I talked yesterday, we're hoping Will doesn't kind of remember about your adventure 2 years ago, and it's a little ominous at this point with all the airline situations going on.
Yeah, so we're on time as of now, and apparently at least United flights out of Lincoln haven't had much disruption at all. Now, we'll see what happens when we connect in Chicago, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But, yeah, anything could be better than what we experienced 2 years ago, where for whatever reason, we connected in Charlotte. And so we flew from, I think it was an Omaha flight. I can't remember. Anyway, we connected in Charlotte, and upon our deboarding, as we're kind of walking off the plane, we all get alerts on our apps that our flight from Charlotte to Indy had already been canceled, like not delayed, just like full blown canceled. It was late at night, like it was, 8 o'clock, so there weren't that many flights left to begin with. Couldn't get on any of the last final flights there. And we thought about renting a car and driving, but that's a 8-hour drive or whatever it is from there. So kind of defeats the purpose of flying in general. And then we looked at some other options of how to fly, and we looked at Louisville and ended up flying to Cincinnati, renting a car, and then driving the just under 2-hour drive from Cincy to Indianapolis. And of course, that was the year that the famous Scott Frost no opening statement media day, where because of Fan Day, Nebraska went, like they did their side podium session at like 8 a.m. And then Frost was at the main podium at 9 or something, I believe it was. Anyway, so we got in to our hotel at Indy at like 3 o'clock and then had to turn around and be at the Luke Soil Stadium by around 7 just to be ready for Frost at 8. So that was a grind. And if I never come even remotely close to that sort of inconvenience, I could be a happy man.
Well, Robin, I'm struggling to get excited for this. I'm not really excited to see or hear anything. Can you help me out a bit?
No, I mean, it's media day. Like, it is what it is. Like, I don't know. I don't see any. I honestly don't know why they even do these things anymore outside of just like getting national exposure. Because like for local people, like we're not even gonna really listen to really very many other coaches. Like we'll listen to the upfront stuff, but the majority of the side stuff is going to be spent on Rule's side podium and then the 3 players that are talking shortly after. And so like basically all of our day is going to be revolved around Nebraska stuff, which, in theory we could just do a 10-minute drive down at the stadium as opposed to flying all the way to Indianapolis to do it. But I don't know. I mean, like, I'm with you. Like outside of like the new schools kind of unofficially making their conference debut, like nothing really gets me all that excited, because especially you look at who Nebraska brought. Like you got 3 of the most like buttoned up dudes like on the team as far as what they're going to say with a camera or a microphone in their face. And so you're not going to get any like outrageous sound bites. You're going to get pretty company line answers on really everything. And outside of Rules, just the news that he'll hopefully give during that side session, it's really just a bunch of fluff. So I don't got a lot of help for you here. It's kind of just, if anything, it's just more the event, like what it signifies, that it's kind of this, for me, it's always like, this is the start of football season where you go to media days and then fall camp starts up right after that. And then all of a sudden you're in full blown football mode. So that's, if anything, just enjoy it for what it is, that this is kind of the ceremony to begin the 2024 football season.
Robin, when you look at it, I feel like this is the first time that Nebraska isn't going to be like, they can take backseat to a lot of things. I feel like every year there's something, whether it be when Frost was there or Rule's first year or something. But this year, like you mentioned, those 4 newcomers can go take all of that, and Nebraska can just go talk, get back, and get ready to go play some football.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's a good thing, but Nebraska is kind of an afterthought right now. You look at the media, unofficial media poll that the Cleveland paper put out. I think you look at almost every ballot had them around 8th. So like they're just kind of projected to be hovering in that middle point of the conference. They're not expected to challenge for the conference. They're not expected to challenge for the college football playoff. And so Nebraska just kind of isn't also ran right now. Now, that narrative can certainly change in a big way if, things get rolling, especially if they get off to a hot start and, maximize the opportunities they potentially have in front of them. But for right now, in late July, Nebraska is just kind of a side story, when compared to the new coaches in the league, particularly Michigan, the defending champs, where they're ushering in a new era. You got Penn State, who's a college football playoff contender. You got Oregon, who's a college football player, and Ohio State. So, I mean, like, those are the schools that are going to get a lot of the focus and a lot of the love, and then Nebraska is just going to be, oh, yeah, they were here too. But that's a good spot. It's not the worst spot to be. It's not like they're picked dead last in the league. People are giving them some credit that They're going to be a competitive team. And again, the narrative right now can look a whole lot different if Nebraska takes care of business and wins the games that it can, and in some cases should win. Then all of a sudden, at the midway point in the season, Nebraska will not be an afterthought whatsoever.
And they're picked 8th in the preseason poll by Cleveland.com. Say they finish 8th. That's a bowl game, right?
Yeah, should be. I mean, I think most people conservatively are saying 7-5. Maybe you can talk yourself into 8 wins, and I think if you're 7-5, you're probably right there in the middle of the pack of the Big Ten. And again, for where Nebraska is as a program, it's not the worst place to be. Clearly expectations internally and around the program are higher, but if that's the end result, Nebraska wins 7 or 8 games, goes to a bowl game and wins that, has some tangible off-season momentum for the first time in a decade, that's a big deal. So, I think that there's a lot of opportunity with this year. It's just a matter of, will this be the season that Nebraska finally stays out of its own way and is able to maximize those opportunities?
Again, we're speaking to Robin Wash at HuskerLane.com. We'll Wash it, talk hoops a little bit. Burke, man, he had a pretty successful under 20 session out there. Now they've been eliminated. Let's talk about him a little bit, and let's just get his butt to campus now and get going.
Yeah, so they're done. They had a really disappointing run as a team, and they had a lot of close losses. They got eliminated in a 1-point loss to Iceland, and I think they had a couple other one-score or one-possession losses that, a couple bounces the other way. They're probably still playing right now. But that being said, Berke did his part. He averaged about 12 points, almost 8 rebounds, 2 or 3 blocks and assists per game. And he shot 54% from 3-point range on 24 attempts. So offensively, he showed a lot of why people are so excited about his fit in Fred's system. Just the versatility that he brings to that 4 spot. And keep in mind that when he was on campus on his official visit, he was standing next to Rink Mass, and they were pretty much eye to eye. So, he's listed at 6'9", Rink's listed at 6'10". It sounds like there's not that much difference. So that's a big-bodied guy that, just shot 54% in an international stage from 3-point range. You can do a lot with that in Fred's system. So a lot to be excited about on that end. My one criticism is defensively, I think he's got a learning curve ahead of him as to what is going to be required of him on that end of the floor compared to maybe what he's used to, certainly in international play. Especially he's going to be defending the post in the Big Ten. He's just got to get more physical, be a little more assertive, and not be so passive like he was at times during this FIBA tournament. And then, rebounding, he put up good rebounding numbers. But if you watch it, he missed out on a lot more just because he wasn't aggressive enough in crashing the glass. So I would say being more physical on defense, more assertive and aggressive on the glass are 2 things that he needs to work on when he gets here. And just because Turkey's done, Burke's still going to arrive mid-August, probably just before the start of the fall semester. That was the plan all along, regardless of what happens with his team in the tournament. So he's got another few weeks yet before he'll get on campus, but he should be arriving with the rest of the team when they kind of regroup for the start of the fall semester, get their classes and all that stuff in order, and then official fall practices start, I believe, mid-September, early to mid-September.
Now, on the other side, Robin, USA, 2 games in a row where they had a scare, South Sudan and Germany. They ended up winning both games, obviously. All right, where are you right now? I'm in the boat. I'm not worried. I think when it comes down to it, they're going to play their ball and they're going to win the gold. Where are you at?
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it is the U.S. just kind of looks old right now.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that is because their guys are old. And so when you got a guy that's my age out there being your best player, I don't know if that's the best thing, even if his name is LeBron James. But that being said, they're winning. But I also look at it not as much about the U.S. team not playing well. I think this is more a reflection of just how good the world is. Like people always want to compare it to the 92 team. Like the level of competition isn't even in the same galaxy right now. Like South Sudan, like a team that doesn't even have an indoor basketball facility in their entire country. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
That's crazy.
They didn't have a single indoor basketball facility. And Luol Deng, the former Bull, who's been like a angel for that whole country, he's building the first indoor facility through his charity organization. Anyway, like that team, like you look at their roster, and they got a bunch of like former like 5-star like NBA level players like Wenlin Gabriel and JT Thor and guys that you've heard of before that have played high level basketball both in college and in the NBA. And so like the world has never been smaller as far as the US's competition with elite level talent. And Germany's the same way. You look at the players that have come out of there. And so I think part of it is the US just they got to figure it out. And I agree with you. I think they'll turn it on once they get out of friendly play and the tournament actually starts going. But they're not going to be able to cruise to very many victories just because the parity around the globe as far as basketball is concerned has never been greater.
Robin, always a pleasure, my friend. You guys travel safe, and we will catch up with you when you return, sir.
Sounds good. I will make sure I have some of Indianapolis' finest cuisine and beverages in your honor.
There is no doubt you will, and I'll see a couple pictures, my friend. Take care of yourself.
All right.
There we go.
There you go. Oh, no, you're good, Robin, man. We appreciate it, man. Safe travels.
Okay. All right, man.
Thanks, Robin. Robin Washington, HuskerLine.com. Good stuff from him as he travels to Big Ten Media Days. Let's take a break. We'll come back with Brian Munson.
More next on the Morning Hookup on KFOR.
Makes a good point about the they do look a little old, don't they?
Yeah. I'm not worried.
I mean, I'm not either, but it's like
I don't know.
I just don't think
you're
can
not
just,
worried.
I'm worried, but
when when I brought that up, you went.
My concern is when they can turn it on. If you're able to just turn that switch.
Do you think?
I always tell guys and our kids like there's just no switch you turn.
Well, if you watch that game yesterday, LeBron did that. I mean, he turned that switch on and he single-handedly.
Why can't we just do that?
Secured that win.
Why can't we do it from jump? Why does it have to be we just have to wait and like we went into the fourth quarter down what? Down.
Yeah. Oh, we're supposed to call Colin. He was at that game.
They went on a 16-4 in the third.
Do you think they're going to win the gold?
Wagner.
Do you think they're going to win the gold?
I do think they're going to win the gold.
Okay, I was.
But they got to figure something else.
I made a bet with Elijah. He doesn't think they're going to win.
They got to figure something out about the purpose and the mission because their defense sucks.
Yeah, that's
defensively. True. They look like an NBA team playing the regular season games. They need to become the NBA team that is in the playoffs.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
You got to have a couple guys
because it does change. And I agree with what Robin said. Like it should change when they get into like pool play.
Yes.
Right. Don't just do just enough just to get in. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Be those dudes. Right before you fellas are killing me with this GoFundMe stuff in the arms of an angel. # free Bill and Will.
I mean, it is frustrating because.
Oh, and Nessa said you have a calendar. He sent it to you. So it is frustrating. We have so many things. Oh.
What month is it? July?
Yep. 7/23/24.
Oh, we miscounted today.
Darn. Brian Munson coming up.
Yes, but I was going to bring something up.
Oh, the free Bill and Will. Were you going on that? Because I interrupt you with the calendar.
Oh, yes. It's just frustrating because we get a majority of our listeners
right here
on Twitter.
Right here.
So you'd think our bosses would be supportive of that. Good thing they don't listen to the show.
Well, they're definitely not streaming.
Yeah.
I don't believe, right? They're not.
Brian Munson.
Yeah, Brian Munson, Olympic sports. Ask Brian a question. I think this is awesome.
What?
I'm gonna ask Brian. I'm gonna ask you both this: how jacked up you are about who's gonna carry the torch.
Oh, I haven't heard this.
Oh, it's good.
David Beckham.
Mm-mm.
And all you gotta keep this up.
They're gonna be talking my language with this guy. Troy, I don't know. That's a great question. When Durant will be back, I have no idea. They did say that they were not even contemplating removing Durant. So that is not an option. Welcome back in the morning hookup. This next gentleman, you just hear the music. No need for an introduction, but it's Brian Munson, HuskerOnline.com. Brian, what's up, my man?
What's up, guys?
I was going to ask you guys this: is if you had seen this report, because I'm pretty fired up about it. Here it is. I'm a big Olympic fan, like we all should be and are. Did you see who's going to carry part of the carry the torch through part of the final run coming up?
I did not. Who do you got?
How about the D-O-double-G, Snoop Dogg?
What?
Snoop's going to carry the
Really?
torch to the streets of St. Denis.
That would be awesome.
Yes.
I definitely have got some rap tunes that probably need to be played as he's kind of carrying that going along the way. I mean, yeah, man, that's awesome. Because what Doggy? I'm trying to remember how long ago their first album came out. I think it was '93.
Probably. I
maybe
think you're right.
'92. Yeah, I mean, gosh, dude's been doing it forever, man. He's still cool as ever, isn't he?
Yeah, he's so cool.
32 years ago. He's got just an amazing takes. He just has amazing takes on all of it, and his reactionary comments to everything just seem to be spot on. And that's what I just totally dig about that guy, man.
My only question is, is it legal to what he sometimes partakes in as he's running?
I think it would depend on where the where he's going to be taking the handoff and where he's delivering it to.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I love Snoop Dogg, but I don't understand this. It's all about athletes, and he's not an athlete. I don't get it, but whatever. Let's do it. Let's do it.
I think he was a pretty good basketball player back in the day, and obviously he's had a couple of really athletic sons, right? At least one that went to UCLA to play football. So
yeah,
I don't know, man. I'm all about him carrying it.
Speaking of football, Brian, Big Ten Media Days start today, and we had Robin on before you, and I asked him the same thing. I said, "Help me get excited." I mean, I there's just something about this that I just don't really care, if I'm being blunt. Can you help me out here?
I mean, I get it. I think that so far the feedback, about the outlook for Nebraska, picked 8th in the conference. I mean, Iowa 5th and Wisconsin at 7. Okay, I've got bigger problems with those two things than I do with Nebraska at 8. I mean, I guess they're trying to say that Iowa has a bad schedule or a weak schedule, but I'm not getting Wisconsin, the love for Wisconsin at all this year. But I think that getting back to the love or getting fired up again for Big Ten Media Days. Number one, the conference has expanded. You got 4 new teams, 4 new coaches, some programs, I think, like Oregon and USC that are going to push everybody else as much as Nebraska has already been pushed in a conference that they haven't basically fared too well in. So I think that what Nebraska has to be concerned with is, again, you're in the family vehicle. You've kind of been in the back seat, so far during the time that you've joined the conference. Just one conference championship appearance. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
And so you just got the one, and now all of a sudden you're putting USC, UCLA, Oregon, and Washington in the car with you. Things aren't getting any easier. So I think that you have to make sure that not only are you keeping pace, but you're in some catch up. You're trying to get things right, a little bit. And I think that obviously I'm always very excited about listening to Matt Rule. Mm-hmm. He's coming off of the Texas high school coaches conference down here, and I know from reading some of the stuff that's out there, on Twitter about it, he killed. He absolutely killed. And there's such a great response from the Texas high school coaches down here when it comes to listening to him speak and the things that he is saying. I think that part obviously is always the most refreshing side, of anything when it comes to listening to him, is just that the message is always great. I think that he can be critical, and then I think he's got this way of being, cautiously optimistic. And I think it's always very refreshing to kind of hear that stuff. So I would kind of give you that. Plus, I think that you got three really deserving, 2 6-year, 1 5-year, 1 5th-year seniors kind of going there this week. So I'm excited to hear from those guys. It's been a long road. Been a very long road for those guys and what they've been able to navigate through. And I think people should be excited about, how some of those guys' careers are kind of, this is the big moment for them, So I think that's the part obviously that still gets me, tuned in and DVRing the whole thing so I can go back and rewatch.
Right. What's also is a breath of fresh air is the fact that when you're in on a kid and you pursue the kid and you feel like you're still way back at the finish line, like you're number 2, all of a sudden you get an announcement that says, no, wait, hold my beer. I'm going to Nebraska. You're number 1 now. That was a big time to get that kid.
That kid his name is pronounced for all of your listeners, because I know that your reason why you're not pronouncing it.
Cade. I got Cade down. I'll let you do the rest.
You got Cade, but his last name, despite it being spelled Pietrzak, his last name is pronounced Pedshok.
Pedshok.
Okay.
Like pedestrian and shocking.
Okay.
Put those two kind of things together. So Pedshok is his last name, and I absolutely love this get from Nebraska. His film is awesome, and I like it on both sides of the football. I compared him to Grant Wistrom a little bit in my what does it mean for Nebraska, because I don't know if it's really, maybe it should have been Kyle Vandenbosch, but what I was really trying to get at was, I don't think Nebraska has had an edge rusher, since either one of those two guys, that Nebraska could just kind of put out there and just say, go to work on a tackle. And now I think that they truly have that 5 technique. They truly have a 5 tech that they can go out there and say, go to work on that offensive tackle, because what ultimately starts to happen, obviously, is you're going to get your wins, and the offensive coordinator is going to have to change things up, where it's going to have to be, well, we're going to hold the tight end in, potentially, or motion them in to kind of, double team you, or we're going to chip you with the running back. So things have to happen in terms of adjustments on the offensive side of the football when you have a guy that's disruptive like that. And he has got all the things that you need basically to kind of put it all together. He's got a great frame. He's 6'5". He's about 245 pounds right now. He has tremendous quickness off of the football. He has a motor. I mean, there's a couple plays with him as an offensive tackle where the linebacker seems to be running away from him. I mean, legitimately running away from him. And he's coming from the backside tackle position trying to reach him, and he is literally chasing after this guy like, he stole his lunch money. And he ends up still getting a pancake, like right as the whistle is getting blown and the play is over, like Cade is still planning this dude, way outside the hash, nowhere near the play. Cade is finishing. He is a finisher. He's got a great motor. I think you just kind of put those tangibles and intangibles together with him, and it just kind of leads you to kind of feeling like this could be a really special player. And I think that you also kind of got to take a look at that group of players that Terrence Knighton is kind of building and putting together in this class. When you start taking a look at Malcolm Simpson, and you add in Cade, and you add in Tyson Terry on top of that, you even have the possibility of being like a Sean Hammerbeck. If things don't really kind of work the way that they're supposed to, with him being an offensive tackle, maybe him moving back over to the defensive side of the football. They've done a great job of kind of identifying that profile of what they're kind of looking for in those guys. And there's some players in the class, that kind of look like similar to one another. I kind of compare Hammerbeck and Pedshock together, throughout my article, and just, I give athletically the advantage goes to Pedshock over Hammerbeck. But I was like, those guys are very similar looking dudes. And I really dig both those guys. And I think it's really important to stretch out the border of Nebraska to capture the Dakotas, and then eventually, you make your mark into Colorado, maybe catching out to Denver first, and then getting into Kansas and Missouri and Iowa and Minnesota eventually, to where you can kind of gain that recruiting advantage I think that Nebraska enjoyed, in the 80s and 90s, by basically able to cherry pick everybody inside that territory. And I think that that's something that Nebraska seems to be really kind of getting focused on when it comes to their recruiting strategy.
Real quick on that one as well. Do you have any insights on what changed? Because I know we had talked about it and everybody thought, we were a distant second. What changed in the approach from the staff, or was it just the relentless effort to land him?
I think it was effort. I think Coach Knighton and Coach Rule, and I think also the way that the players also recruited. Vincent Carroll Jackson was a big name that kept coming back up again, and how he's actually impacted, the recruiting cycles with him being like the host. He's a backup defensive lineman who's obviously gotten high praise from Coach Knighton as well. He's going to be in the rotation this year. He's definitely a guy that's going to play into the, the possibilities or the names for, taking over for Ty Robinson, or how he's going to kind of work into some things in the future seasons. But he's obviously been very influential when it comes to recruiting and the guys that they've been hosting their own campus. So I think it comes down to effort. I think it's not just a coach's effort. I think it's also a player's effort. And I think that that's been one of the big things. And obviously it's, if it was really Oklahoma and Nebraska, K-State, again, it's kind of a Grant Bricks trio, and you're still closer to Lincoln than you are to the other two.
We're talking to Brian Munson. Let's go to the other side of the ball, Brian, with David Sanders. It sounds like just momentum keeps swinging our way. Talk about what the situation is right now. There was a quote from On3 saying, I think people are viewing Nebraska as a real contender here with a few weeks to go. What do you have to say about that?
I've been saying it for a while. I read Steve Wiltfong's article this morning, and by the way, he's the best in the business. I mean, he and Chad Simmons are the best at what they do. And I have been saying that for a long time. I think that things would be completely and totally different had, Dylan Raiola been in Lincoln the weekend that David Sanders Jr. took his official visit. I really feel like, David Sanders sees the bigger picture when it comes to that. If Nebraska can get the number one quarterback 1 year, why shouldn't he have the number one offensive tackle blocking for him? Because if you're capable of getting that kind of guy, at this one spot, you should have the capability of getting another guy, same rank, at another spot. And I think he sees how that kind of, comes together and can kind of be influential on the other pieces that kind of, as you build your team. You just didn't have that ability to kind of put the personal touch on it when Dylan is in Fort Worth supporting his sister's graduation the same weekend that David is in Lincoln. So I'm keeping a real watchful eye on the possibility that David could be in Lincoln this weekend for kind of their last, end of the summer elite junior day, kind of visit, because I don't see this at all as a possibility for Nebraska if he only takes that one official visit or that one visit before he announces in mid-August. It's almost like you are so tied to seeing Nebraska one more time this week to really, really, really kind of putting it in the even the remotely possible kind of category. At least that's the way I kind of look at it. I mean, in a lot of that, it's just there's an unexplained side to me still about how we've gone from top 6, no Nebraska, to Final 4 with Nebraska, and how Clemson kind of got taken off, where they seem to be at least the trending leader for a while. And it seems like there's been a lot of groundwork being made up here by I think Raiola doing it on the side. And I think what Nebraska is still trying to convey to him, you can walk into Lincoln and essentially be the starter as a true freshman. I think that's an impossibility at the other 3 schools that he's got into his Final 4.
Wow, that'd be big time if that were to happen. Brian, before we get you out of here, I want to ask, we got to get an update, college football 2025, and how the your new job is going, and if there's been any controversy or there's been like game plan change. Well, what's happening?
There is a controversy. My son found, this is crazy too. My son found a portal transfer on the game from Rockwall, Texas, which is where we're from, playing for the University of Nebraska at Kearney. If that's not like a total like shot in the dark, like I have never, and the name on it was just totally crazy too. So it was just, we've seen that, and obviously my son won the national championship, won the Natty year 1 with Nebraska. Raiola was the Heisman Trophy winner, and Dowdell led the nation in rushing. So lots of optimism on this side. Again, going back to the Big Ten Media Days, that's why you need to tune in right there to see if there's any type of practical, correlation between doing the NCAA EA Sports version and how it really plays out in the field this fall.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Well, Brian, man, we appreciate your time as always, man. Can't wait to catch up with you next week after Big Ten Media Days and as we get closer to fall camp, my friend. So take care of yourself.
I mean, how far away? How far away are we from camp even starting? Like a week?
Is it 8 days? Is it the 30th? I thought it was the 30th or 31st. 30th or 31st,
I think
right?
It's 8 days.
8 days. 8 days, and we are camping. And then they have that not open practice, but from an NIL, you can buy tickets to a practice that Sunday.
And big visitor weekend this Saturday too, guys. We have a lot to catch up on.
A lot to catch on. Well, Brian, take care of yourself, and we'll talk to you soon, my friend.
See you guys.
Brian Munson, HuskerLine.com. Great stuff from him. And we are getting closer. That now you start talking about visitors and that part, you can get a little excited.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm fearful with the Sanders thing. You're back in the running. Got my air quotes up.
Yeah.
But you're really not.
Well,
maybe Dylan has kept you in this a little bit.
Yeah. I think it's amazing that you're at least getting a lot of attention from offensive linemen because recently Nebraska has struggled getting big O-lineman talent. And then there's this 2026 5-star who released his first group of teams, and we were in on it. Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta get the punctuation mark though, right? On these kids. So all right, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll do stories that we missed.
You're listening to the Morning Hookup with Bill Hooks and Will Wilson. More coming up.
Look at Adam out there hanging out with us this morning. Kegging some beer while he was watching.
He's a man of multiple talents.
Yeah, my gosh. You tell me.
He's a man I love the videos he posts on Facebook of the canning process. So cool.
It's real cool.
So cool.
Coming up, man. That was good stuff from those guys.
Yeah, man. It's exciting. Really exciting. And then there's this number one athlete in the country is coming to visit Nebraska.
What?
Yeah.
We don't do that.
It's amazing.
We don't get that kind of kid.
Well,
We don't. It just they come. They just want to check it out. Like I said, one time you just got to go. We got them.
Yeah. Right.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
This is the time of year. Also, just I don't know. It's been that way for a couple weeks. Like we're ranking positions and we're ranking coaches and we're ranking schedules. A lot of opinions being put out there right now.
Like what?
Well, I don't know. Like it's an opinion base that Nebraska's in the preseason 8th, right? Everybody's doing their ranking like the most important Big Ten game of the year.
I'm reading this article
Uh-oh.
on CBS Sports. College basketball's most innovative offensive coaches.
Oh, let me go over there real quick.
And it says there are terrific offensive coaches everywhere. Hofstra's Speedy Claxton is an exceptional X and O's mind. Princeton's Mitch Henderson uses isolation brilliantly.
Okay.
New Michigan coach Dusty May has found ways to use space so creatively. Illinois' Brad Underwood has been the architect of 3 top 10 offensive in the past 8 years,
He's a
using
jerk.
3 vastly different techniques. And then this one says, no one scored more points off handoffs last year than Nebraska under Fred Hoiberg.
We do a lot of the weave and handoff stuff, don't we?
Yeah, but how about that? We're getting a mention
Hey,
in
there it is.
an article like that. It's kind of fun.
Boop, boop.
Bill Self.
Cheater.
So is
Who?
So is Roy.
No. I don't know. No. Come on. He's gone, man. Leave him alone.
I can't believe Snoop Dogg is doing the torch.
Yeah, it's awesome, dude.
It's cool. I just don't understand it.
First of that, but also I am so glad. There was no way I was getting that recruit's name. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Like, I was never have gotten to Pet Shock.
Head shock.
You would never have gotten to that.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't either.
Pietrits, Zach. Peachizik. Pietrits.
I thought it was Petrick. Yeah.
Yeah. I would never have gotten to Pet Shock. Thank you, Brian. Never gotten there.
I'm just getting my stories.
Get your story. I know you are. I'm looking for a couple. I was sprinkling a bunch in throughout the show today. The ultimate shock value. Welcome back in the morning hookup. Special thanks to our Husker Online friends Robin Washit and Brian Munson hanging out with us on a Tuesday. Let's not waste any time. Let's get to the stories that we missed.
The stories we missed. The morning hookup.
Did you see this golf? I know we talk a lot of golf, but this golf story, this Nick Dunlap, you seen this?
No.
It's pretty cool. He became the first player in PGA Tour history to win an amateur and a professional event in the same year.
Really?
Yeah. That's crazy. In January, he won the American Express at La Quinta at 20 years old. Then as a sophomore at the University of Alabama. And then he rallied Sunday for a 2-point victory in the Barracuda Championship. Never been done.
Barracuda.
Amateur championship and a PGA tournament champion. How wow.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
Ernesto.
You're in the morning hookup.
Rob. Lose your money, honey, and give the boys what they need. I'm telling you. Sell the artifacts. Sell the jukebox. Sell the tin can artifact with the wire coming out of it. Anything from your crib to help our boys. My PD consultant was Jerry Clifton. And Rob, I guarantee you know who he is. He's a legend. You tell the boys you've heard of him. Man, he used to give us money out of the petty cash when we were DJing at the Gentlemen's Club so we could have a little fun. So you need to loosen that rubber band or that staple in that wallet and shell it out and give them another hour because I love my boys. Or I'm bringing them to Jacksonville.
My boy Ernesto, you're the best. The rubber band or staple in that wallet. That is one of my favorite. I don't know why the staple in my wallet makes me laugh.
Pull it all the way down and lose my money, honey.
Oh boy.
Let's move on. Thank you, Ernesto. He's always got our backs.
He does.
He's always got our backs. The NFL talking about moving the season to 18 games.
I saw that.
Yeah, the NFL has engaged players union in high-level discussions about an 18-game season. They're at 17. Obviously, they moved to 17 in 2021. They moved to 16 in 1978. And now they're talking to moving to 18. This is going to be a big discussion, Hooks. Health, money, and that's really it.
Well, where do you take games off of? I mean, like, it's a lot going on here. Like, where do you get the 18th game from? Like, do you just add it?
I think you take
from a preseason.
You probably take it away from preseason.
But then this preseason take away from one opportunity and two, getting the vets ready. There's a lot going on here.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot going on.
The NFL just, man, they do I dare say greedy? I mean, we talked about how much money they're making a couple of weeks ago, and they just want to make a lot more, and they're gonna with that 18th game.
It's interesting as they progress because it's give and take, right? And power, give take, not just money but power and all that stuff. I found this article, and it's from SB Nation. I find it very interesting. The topic, the headline is, "Do you know Olympic horses need passports?"
I did not. I didn't know an animal needed a passport.
I didn't know that. Apparently, they're on their way, and one of the write-ups came out that said a horse passport contains a photo of the horse so Customs and Immigration can verify it's the correct horse. Is that true?
I'm sure it is.
That's so interesting.
Huh. Horses need passports.
Yeah.
Who knew?
That's so interesting. Like, I don't know.
Equestrian is fun to watch, by
it's
the way.
fun, but I'm like, oh, is that real?
This is interesting. Remember, we talked about how TNT was maybe going to be losing their NBA rights.
Yeah.
And if that happened, we would be losing the best thing that's ever happened to the NBA.
Yep.
With Chuck, Shaq, Ernie, and
Charles.
Thank you.
Kenny Smith.
Well, relax. We might be saved. The TNT has matched NBC's offer.
Wow.
So we may be getting it after all.
Think that keeps Chuck from retiring? I don't know, man.
I think it would.
I know, maybe.
Well, let's hope this is the start of a good thing.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, you guys are awesome. Thanks for hanging out with us on a super Tuesday. Again, thanks to our guests as well. Thank you, Will. You guys have a great Tuesday. Tomorrow, Henry T. Buchanan sitting right next to us. You'll be here all day long, baby, so you won't want to miss that. Have a great Tuesday. Catch you on a hump day.
Hi, Sarah.